Hello guys, and welcome back to Dwellers in the Dark. Again, all excited because we're on Pool D, Pool Dave, the most important pool there is. And here I am again with Johnny Wright, and we're here in his shop again. We're going to do a quick around afterwards and put this up so you'll be able to see, and we'll have an overlay of some bits and pieces. So we have the 4 teams in Pool D. We have France 1. We have the world team, we have Ireland, and we have England team 2. Of course, out of respect, I've left Johnny do England team 2 because I know that he'll put a lot of enthusiasm in there.
Absolutely.
Now, we're going to kick on very, very quickly because I know that people will be kind of saying, oh, we have to go through all of these videos. Well, you're going through these videos because I put the effort in. There you go, sorted. Right, so France 1. Now, in France 1, we have their first army, which is led by a Shade. We have the Dark Marshal on a horse, leading Black Númenóreans, Morannon Orcs, and Orc Warriors. A lot of spears going on in there. In fact, there's a total of 8 spears going on in that warband alone. Then we have the Witch King, also this time on a Fell Beast, with 3 might, 4 will, and 2 fate added. Black Númenóreans again, and Morannon Orcs with spears and shields. We have the Shade, who is the general, leading the Spectre, Orc Warriors with shield, loads of Orc Warriors with spears, and 4 Orc Trackers. And then finally, Orc Gundabad Captain, leading 2 Gundabad Ogres. Get this on the table. Forget the blacklist, forget the fifth list. I want to see those boys on there. That could be good. That's scary.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 ogres scary, yeah, what they can do. I mean, Witch King in any army is going to be a strong, I don't know, I think...
Not only that, but the Dark Marshal, you've got 2 wraiths in there.
Yeah.
That's practically a pure Angmar list as such. Obviously the Dark Marshal isn't, but you've got a lot of stuff going on in there. We're hoping to get through these lists quickly. This is quite difficult when you start looking at your defense 6, your defense 5 Orc Warriors with spears behind them, and your 2 Gundabad Ogres. You've got a Fell Beast. You've got a triumvirate of threats there, just in those 3 models. We're going to kick on very, very quickly, guys, because that's a nice list. I like that one. Okay, so we have the Goblin King. Now, I think we've seen the Goblin King already in a previous list in the other pool.
Yeah.
Again, only a small contingency of Goblin Warriors. We have the Shadow Lord on a Fell Beast. We have the Dwimblake on a horse. And we have Vrasku leading Ferals, Orc Warriors, and...
Shelob in Vrasku. I mean, this, yeah, again, I think I tend to categorise lists into 2, so it's either a tournament list or it's a theming list.
Yeah.
This is absolutely a tournament list. I mean, to take the Goblin King, Shadow Lord, Dwimblake, Shelob, all in one list. We're low on numbers, but that's obviously going to be the case when you look at the type of models we've got. We've got, what, 420 points invested into just those, in fact, if you include Shelob, 500 points invested into those 4 models alone, so it's no wonder the numbers are low.
The black herring is slipping in there for me because of Vrasku. Why bring Vrasku when you have no other archers in there whatsoever? That is the only archer you have. Okay, he's got might, but you're keeping him out of the game if he wishes to shoot, because he's got a crossbow. I'm a bit concerned about that. Other than that, the rest of the list is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I would like to see that on the table, some really nice stuff. Quickly, moving on. We have the Undying here is our general, and the Undying is on his own with a Fell Beast. Then we have Groblog, so we're up to Maria, and we've got Mordor, a bit of a mix going on. So Groblog with a Dweller in the Dark. Solid, what can I say? Bring out that model. I want to see this on the table irrespective. We've got Gundabad Black Shields, what goes for Dwellers in the Dark?
Absolutely.
Doesn't it? Maria Goblin Warriors, Maria Goblin Shaman, some Black Shields, Warriors, and 2 War Marauders here. We have a ring wraith. We've actually got 2 ring wraiths.
Well, two unnamed and then
two unnamed and the Undying. Plus we've got two Spectres, some Orc Warriors with spears, two Orc Warriors that are just like on their own, there's nothing with them, and then we have the Orc Trackers.
Picks, so that's the reason why,
but there's still defense 4.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You know, I suppose you are throwing them in with, you know, that special strike, piercing strike. I do like that list because you've got the Dweller, and you've got 3 casters here.
Yeah.
And some Spectres and Marauders in there.
I think it'll be a pain to play against that. I think that's its real strength, is just by the time you've worked a strategy out, it's probably too late. That's its strength really, is there's a lot going on with it.
Impressed, France. I'm very impressed. 38 models, but then you've got some power.
Well, again, yeah, same as what we've just talked about really. It's low on the model count, but for good reason, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll quickly move on, and we're into Galadriel, Lady of Light, from the White Council, and she's obviously leading no one, but the rest of her army is the King's Champion with Heralds. I hate King's Champion.
King's Champion, yeah.
Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful setup model, it is, but you've got Khazar Guards and you've got Dwarf Warriors. Then you have Legolas kicking around with a few Elf Warriors. Wood Elf Warriors, Galadriel Knights, the Sentinel, and some guards of the Galadriel Court. We've got quite a few there, actually.
Yeah, and also guards of the Fountain Court. There's quite a lot.
There's a lot.
Quite a lot going on here at high 5 value. So
indeed,
it's an interesting take.
Let's just throw in Danrod first with some Rangers of Gondor, and yes, we are looking at 40 models. I like that list. France, you're definitely throwing out some nice lists here that'll get your opponents thinking.
It's got every element you would want. Again, it's quite a good all-round list.
Yeah.
Legolas, I mean, for me, at 800 points, Legolas is almost an auto included.
Yeah.
For what he brings you in a good army is irreplaceable, and just the threat for anti-hero.
What I'm loving here is you've got, you know, quite a lot of guards at Fountain Court, Galadriel Court, then you've got the Khazar Guards there as well, you've got your King's Champion and the Heralds, you've got your Lady of Light focusing on any of those spirits that go on the board. Put a Shadow Lord on there and see what she'll do. And the Wood Elf Sentinel being able to, you know, tweak a few bits. I like that list. I'm hoping that this is the non-list France, because I'd hate to get rid of any of those lists as a 5th list. And we have the Knight of Umbar, but we have a Ring Wraith on a Fell Beast.
Ring Wraith on Fell Beast is the general.
Then we have the Knight of Umbar. Now that allows the Knight of Umbar to be a grenade,
which is what that's what you want really. You want to set him free and allow him to go ahead and take out things in combat rather than have that weight on his back of being the general as well that you might give points away with. So yeah, and then the list. So we've also got loads of Moran and Orcs. We've got Spider Queen, some Orc Warriors. Does this go onto the back?
No.
It's quite a lot of numbers.
It's
only 32 numbers.
Yeah. This is where I have to go off screen again. Hang on to that. What have I done with France? No, it definitely doesn't go on the back. It does look like it's very, very low in numbers there. Where are we with? Here we are.
Yeah, that's only 16. That's half the army. So the first half of the army
is awesome.
Is awesome, yeah, it's a solid contender. So like I say, so we've got the Knight of Umbar in the warband. So the warband's quite small. There's only 6 or 7 in both of these warbands. So we've got 4 Moran and Orcs, 2 shield, 2 shield and spear, 1 Orc Warrior with shield and spear, the Spectre. Same again in the other list with the Spectre and Spider Queen as well. So Spider Queen, fantastic. The two Fell Beasts. The first half of the list, if the second half is as good, then it will be quite difficult to pick which of the 5 lists is the one to be dropped, I have to say.
Right, okay, I have the rest of the list. My apologies on this. After the Spider Queen, we have an Orc Taskmaster and we have Kardush, and they're leading a small mirage of Morannon orcs here, but it does give us 32 models. There's a lot of
I'm not blown
shields.
away by this. If that's what's rounding out the force.
Yeah.
32 models, that is breaking at 16. That is low, even by evil standards.
My concern is the ring rate. The ring rate being the general.
Yeah.
You haven't much.
And only 2 fate.
Yeah.
2 fate, 2 might, 14 will, but 14 will.
14 will keep it alive.
Well,
will it allow it to cast the spells it wants to?
I think you. Look, I mean, I think 14 is a bit low at that. If that's your general.
I'm concerned you're on a fell beast as well.
Yeah.
Put it on a horse, keep it at the back. Happy days.
You're stuck in that middle ground again. You know, we talked about previously with the shackles being taken off the Knight of Umbar in this list by virtue of the fact that the Ring Wraith is the general. But the Ring Wraith bearer anyway, I just don't think he has what it takes to take that mantle. So
I think this is your fifth list.
Fifth list.
Called
it.
Alright. You've heard it here first. And now we're on to World Team.
World Team 1. So
Right. Now the World Team has been made up of guys from Russia, Ireland, Italy, and graciously a Frenchman. So Brexit occurs and an Irishman brings all of the European countries together to play games. England, the UK, and Russia and America are having problems, and an Irishman brings a Russian over to Cardiff. What can I say? Let's get in there. Let's see what the World Team's brought for us.
okay, so first up we've got a Horde army. We've got Durbos, Groblog, 2 Shaman, and a Goblin Captain. So Durbos is the general. We've got a Troll. We've got another Dweller in the Dark.
Solid.
We've got 2 Marauders and a Bat Swarm. So it's a well themed list.
Yeah.
Up at 63 for numbers, so
That's good.
it's a solid amount. We've got Fury in there as well. 2 Shamans.
Got a little bit of mobility with the Marauders in there. I always struggle. Why does the Dweller in the Dark have wings and cannot fly? I mean, that's another thing.
Another question for another day.
Design faults. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a great deal to say about this. It's just it's a solid list. It's got a few tricks, but I think that would be one of the 4 I'd take.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so now we're on to Fiefdom's list. We have Imrahil and his warband of 4 Warriors of Dol-Amroth, 2 Mounted Knights, 2 Blackroot Rangers, 2 Knights, 2 Warriors of Losnark, and the other warbands, we've got Boromir with no one, on horse with an axe.
That's important. We'll talk about that in a moment.
We have Galadriel, Lady of Light. We have Forlong with 4 Warriors of Dol-Amroth, 4 Knights, 2 Blackroot Rangers, 2 Warriors of Losnark. We have Damrod, some more Dol-Amroth, and 2 Rangers of Gondor. What do you think?
I like the list. It's got some good strength. I'm concerned about Boromir. And the reason I'm concerned about Boromir is because Boromir has his horn. And if you're coming up against multiple characters, you have the option to blow the horn. If you blow the horn, it then dictates whether you win or you lose. Or sorry, you win the fight automatically, or you've got to play normally and roll some dice.
Yeah.
You cannot call piercing strike with the axe, because you've got to see if you actually win the fight first.
Yeah.
If you don't win the fight outright, i.e. your opponent doesn't fail the courage test, then you can call piercing. But Boromir with an axe, if you think you're going to go in there, use the horn and immediately get piercing strike, it's not going to happen, guys. Other than that, Lady of Light is the only...
Yeah, I mean, Imrahil's a great hero. Again, it's whether he falls into the pitfall of the fact that he's general. Okay, yeah, you've got Boromir, so Boromir sort of filling that free reign.
With six might, but no fate.
Yeah. I mean, fate only matters if you lose in combat, though, right?
Yeah, I've seen Boromir use 5 might in 1 turn just to win combat.
Yeah.
It's circumstantial. Boromir is a powerful, powerful model. Is he good enough? to stick with the guys? Can he carry them?
Can he carry them? That's the question. Well, we'll find out the answer soon enough, won't we?
Indeed. Right.
So we've got another Horde army. Again, similar vein to a couple of lists we've seen from other countries. So we've got Gandalf leading. Gandalf. Yes, perfect. Gandalf and Alfred from Lake Town.
Gandalf's on a horse.
Gandalf's on a horse. Yeah, this is a great list actually. We've got merry, militia and archers. We've got Band of Brass Tuck with militia and archers. We've got Thranduil, King of Mirkwood, with some Wood Elf warriors, again a mix of spear and bow, and Guard of the Gladron Court.
They have upgraded to bandybooks as well, but yeah.
And then we've got Legolas, more Wood Elf warriors, a Galadriel Knight, and a Guard of the Galadriel Court. So three Guard of the Galadriel Court in total. I like this. I like this. It's got some good mobility. It's got some tricks. It's got the ability to harry with Gandalf, with Blast, Alfred playing in with his usual tricks.
Well, I mean, Gandalf being able to turn around and just Sorcerer's Blast with as much might as he wants.
Absolutely.
That's going to be awesome. Thranduil as well, being able to do Nature's Wrath, and also his his terror.
It's terrible, yeah. 54 numbers, good solid list.
Got a lot of stones there with the hobbits. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, it's a strong list for me.
Yeah. Okay, and the last is second last list.
Second to last, yeah. Yep. So another good list. We've got Balin, Gimli, King's Champion, Floy, and Dwarf, all leading a mix of Dwarf warriors, Khazad Guard. It's at 40, but then it is dwarves, so to be expected.
Yeah.
This is a solid list. I think it's going to take some beating to get through this.
I think they've missed off the heralds, but they've got it down in the points.
Absolutely, obviously, it's going to lack mobility. Obviously, it's going to lack. Okay, you've got the throwing axes on. Well, you've got the throwing axe on the Dwarf King.
Yeah.
This again falls into that category for me. If it's tournament and it's rock paper scissors, this being strong in one element, but
my concern is you've got reconnoiter, you've got storm the camp. Can the dwarf legs carry them across the board
slowly? Very good over short distance.
Sprinters.
I mean, no, it's an interesting question, and presumably the rules pack for the scenarios was out before the lists. So it does beg the question: has every scenario been considered when writing this list, or is this a list? It also fits into the category of theme. It's a good list, but it's thematic as well.
It could also be a blocking list. You come up against a list and you can see, right, there's no way that any of our present armies can cater for that. We'll bring out our blocking list. And yes, we'll take the loss, but they're going to take so long to whittle us down, to get the break points, to get the general points, etc., etc. When we're on an objective, we can just sink our teeth into it, and we're going to be hard to move off. So that could be a blockers list, and that could be a real tactical move by the world team there.
So we come on to the last list, which is the Undying and Dwemer Lake, both on horse. So we've got Sharku, Shelob, an Orc Taskmaster, scattering of Black Numenorians, and otherwise filled out with
Berserkers there?
Yeah, there's 5 Uruk-hai Berserkers, and the rest is Moran and Orcs. Numbers at 41.
To me, that's the dud list, believe it or not.
It doesn't jump off the page at me, I have to say.
Sharku, no warg, definitely a fifth list.
Yeah.
I'm a lover of wargs with Sharku, but the Undying and the Taskmaster and the Dwemer Lake are very, very powerful models.
Yeah.
They've got themselves not on Felbeasts though, and that weakens the army.
Absolutely, yeah. I think for me, if you're taking, with the odd exception, if you're taking if you're taking Ring Wraiths, Felbeast is an auto include for what it adds. There's a couple of tricks to getting the Felbeast down, dismounting the Ring Wraiths, but ultimately those hurls are so scary, particularly for fragile lists, high cost lists, where you've got fragile models and you need certain things to be doing certain things at certain times. You're hurling someone, pretty difficult.
Well, you've got that with Shellop. She's playing, I don't know, quarterback here. She's sitting at the back and she's waiting, she's looking for a turn and she's moving out, possibly. But the Undyne, the horse, and the Dwimmerlake, the horse, definitely defensive type casters. They're going to hold back. The Dwimmerlake's going to try and affect people's, I don't know, their will outlay when transfix or something like that has been cast on by the Undyne. It has strengths and it has abilities. What's its meta? Is it coming from Russia? Is it coming from Ireland? Is it coming from France or Italy? What's the meta it's used to?
I think it probably has to go in terms of which list I would drop. It's probably a toss-up between the last two we've discussed. So the dwarf list or this one. I think the other three are very strong.
It's very, very rare to see a dwarf list being put forward as a fifth list in this, because dwarves tend to be, you know, someone loves a dwarf out there for some reason.
Yeah, and that is clear in the fact that you know, you're only taking from Jorin's folk. There's very little, there's nothing from elsewhere, which again, you know, I had to speak before about theme versus tournament. This doesn't really, I'm not saying it's not going to do well, but it doesn't fall into the category of tournament. You know, you think of tricks and
so you're calling the dwarfs are staying at home.
No, I think it's great.
You think the dwarfs are going to be on the table?
I think, and I think that the strength of the list is probably enough to pip the last list we've talked about with the Undyne.
Yeah. Here's a question: which of the two lists would, if they tallied up against?
I'd go dwarves, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'd go dwarves.
So we're going for the Undyne as the
Floy.
list.
Yeah, Floy in the dwarf list can turn off some of the tricks. So
we can turn off the Undyne. We can definitely reduce the Dwimmerlake's ability as well.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, we'll crack on now, and we're on to the Irish list. Céad Míle Fáilte, McCoy. Okay, so Ireland. Now we've got young Thorin Oakenshield, and he's leading 12 warriors of Erebor with spear and shield. We've got a King's Champion, his 2 heralds, and he's got 10 Kazakh Guard. We've got Gloin, Champion of Erebor, leading 10 Iron Hills Dwarfs, and we've got Gladriel, Lady of Light. Now you see, that's
a tournament list.
That's definitely a tournament.
Yeah, and that fits in. You know, anywhere for me where you see mixing of army books, it's in this way where you're taking the cream of each army list and fitting it into one list. It's perfect for tournaments. But I like this list.
It's good, and I think if this list is going to be played, I think I know who's going to play it as well from Ireland. That is a solid list. Right, moving quickly on. We have the Golden King of Abracan with 6 Watches of Kana, 6 Abracan Merchant Guard, Taskmaster, another 6 Watches of Kana, 5 Abracan Merchant Guard. We have the Knight of Umbar on a Fell Beast. We have the Shadow Lord on a horse. And we have 11 Moran and Orc with shield and spear and a Spectre. Again, I think this is a very strong list because in the right hands this can do a lot of damage. But it's only hitting 7, 9, 7. It's missing those 3 points. Where could it have put those 3 points, one could ask. In this case,
probably not.
Nowhere.
Yeah, I agree. There's not actually anywhere you could fit those.
I mean, if you dropped Moran and Orc and you started looking at maybe, I don't know, 2 Orc warriors just to get that up to 40 models.
Well, I mean, then you're short on numbers, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's probably, I mean,
you can't do it.
Can't do it. No.
Can't do it.
No.
Okay.
We've tried.
So that must be a solid list.
It's a solid list, yeah.
Okay, and then we have the Undyne on a Fell Beast, leading Blackguard's Barad-dûr, Moran and Orc warriors, Spectres, and Mordor Orc warriors, and a Warg Rider. I said Spectres, there's actually only just one here. Then we have Shagrat, and we have Captain of the Blackguard Barad-dûr.
Yeah, and the Dwimmerlake on horse as well.
And the Dwimmerlake, yes. Sorry, I was just going back to the previous list to make sure I wasn't bemused. And that is the Shadow Lord. So the Dwimmerlake on a horse, and the Undyne on a Fell Beast.
Not much to say about this. I think it's another one of those where
Shagrat's
great. I mean, it's pure theme as well, all Mordor, so...
Again, a solid list.
Yeah.
Now here we go, Durin's Folk.
Yeah.
All day long.
Very similar list.
Unfortunately, I've cut off the top, so I can't see who the general is, but we'll get this on the screen for you.
Gimli or the King's Champion.
Gimli, Dwarf Shield Bearer. Now, this is the first time I've come across a Dwarf Shield Bearer. They're nasty though. And then you've got King's Champion with the Herald. You've got Floy. You've got a Dwarf Ballista.
This is another good theme list that actually has a lot of strengths. It's very unilateral in that, unidimensional in the fact that it's dwarves, so you're obviously missing certain elements that they just do not cater for, but dwarves at their strength, and it's tough to combat.
That's 2 dwarf lists we've got from Ireland now. So the final list is Groblog. Leading Maria Goblins, Shaman leading Maria Goblins, and another Shaman leading Maria Goblins. 2 Barrow Whites, the Witch King of Angmar, and he has 3 Might, 18 Will, and 3 Fate, and a Spectre. That is also a very strong list.
Yeah, another strong list. Groblog being the general as well means the Witch King can do what he wants.
Yes, especially with all that will, he can bounce around. Your Barrow
Not too low on numbers either. I mean,
no, it's 44 models.
I mean, a lot of them have got Mario Goblins, but you've got the Shaman giving Fury as well. So
you've got 2 Shamans, which is a strong list in my mind. Not because you've got 2 Shamans, but you've backed it up with a Fell Beast riding Wraith, of course, and the Wraith is really what allows the Shamans to have their day. But then you have 2 Barrow Whites. That means anyone who wants to come in and try and affect those Shamans have got to run the gauntlet.
Absolutely, yeah. I like this.
Cearc Galore, guys. That's a nasty, lovely list.
So
I think it's a dwarf list.
You think the dwarf list?
I think it's a dwarf list, and possibly the first one.
It's funny how we picked the dwarf list out of the last 2 teams, and it probably suffers from the fact that it is pure dwarves.
Yeah.
And that's arguably what we're going off in terms of what it's lacking.
I suppose if you think of Storm the Camp, dwarves are great to prevent your opponent getting Storm the Camp, but you're going to struggle.
You're going to struggle
get it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have the mobility there.
No.
Thorin, Gloin, Gladriel, King's Champion. That's definitely pushing towards a tournament list to me.
Yeah.
Whereas Durin's Folk, again, a really strong list, but it doesn't have the punch of names behind it. It does have Floy, does have Gimli, and it does have...
It's stronger than the world's dwarf list, I think.
Yes.
This version, just by virtue of the fact that Gimli's in there.
I think this is the 5th list.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And now we're on to the last and final list, which is, for your honour, England
Absolutely.
Team 2.
The eventual runners-up to England Team 1, I imagine. Let's see. So we'll start off with the first one. So we've got the Goblin King, 56 in numbers, Goblin King, Groblog, 2 Shaman, Shadow Lord on Fell Beast, Goblin Mercenary Captain, and it's filled out with Gundabad Black Shields, Goblin Warriors, Giant Spider.
Again?
It's
Shadow Lord.
Yeah, Shadow Lord's in again, yeah. I think a lot of people have taken him as a... Okay, look, I mean, if you're going to take someone that isn't the Witch King, Shadow Lord is probably the second obvious choice.
Personally, I'd have said the Undying and Witch King any day.
The Shadow Lord for me fits into the category of what he gives you if in the right game against the right army is fantastic. It also gives you the hurl. I like Shadow Lord. If I was taking an evil list, I would take one. I think we're privy to the fact that they're probably not going to get used as well as they could be if it was to come up against pure shooting.
We have seen quite a lot of Trandril lists, and I think I've only seen so far 1 Trandril the Beast get off your elk. In fact, they're even bringing an elk. But get off your elk and let's kick everyone around. But there are quite a few little archer lists. I think the Shadow Lord lists are going to struggle to gain their points.
For 170. And you look at the difference between between this and taking a fully kitted out Witch King.
Yeah.
For what you drop off, which is essentially in this list, you know, a few goblins, or maybe the giant spiders or something like that, then it's a bit of a no-brainer. But I do understand why they've taken it.
We are seeing the mercenary captains and the goblin mercenaries. This is, I think, the third set, maybe fourth set. They could be interesting, especially if they pop up on things like Seize the Prize or you know, Storm the Camp. But luckily, GW have clarified Storm the Camp. You have to hold the camp at the end of the game.
Okay.
So it's not just a case of, I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
So right, interesting first list. Second list from England too.
Okay, so we've got Saruman the White
on a horse.
On horse. Arwen on horse, and then we have Rivendell Knight Captain with 7 Rivendell Knights. Then we have the same again with the addition of another knight with banner, and then we have a Ranger of the North on horse. So very low on numbers at 20, but pure mounted, all those lances, all those elven blades, blast, the Nature's Wrath. It's a different take on the type of list that we've seen. I think we've only seen maybe one, and that was in the last pool. Correct? So, yeah, but I mean, this is, again, you're not going to have long games with this. You're going to hit hard and win early, or you're going to fall apart, depending on...
I think you need to take a look at who is in team with 2. I think this is definitely a list that we possibly will see.
Yes.
That's.
I mean, even already having only seen one list previous to this for this team, undoubtedly I would put that in.
Yeah.
That would not fall into the category for me of even being considered as a weak link. And if it is, then the other lists are even stronger. So yeah, no,
indeed, yeah.
That's a great list, and with the banner in there as well. So yeah, can't fault that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at any potential flaws, or not so much flaws.
I initially thought Arwen was a flaw, but I've actually played Arwen within that list, played against it, and it hurt.
Yeah, I mean, the Nature's Wrath, it's a one, you know, it's the only thing she's doing. The problem is, you go for her to stop the Nature's Wrath, and it means you've not focused on anything else. So
indeed, yeah.
I mean, no, I like that list, strong list.
Yeah. Let's crack on. And we're into Trandrel.
Yeah, so we've got Thranduil leading, Wood Elf Warriors, Wood Elf Sentinel, 3 Guardian Court Guard,
Stormcaller,
with 6 High Elf Warriors, with Shield and Spear, Gimli, Khazad Guard, Iron Guard, and some Dwarf Warriors. And we've also got Gandalf and Lake Town Militia. We've seen it in previous lists. If you're going to go with Lake Town Militia and Gandalf, for me, get Alfred in there for the points and what he brings you. You know, again, dropping numbers are at 40, so not too low.
Yeah.
But for dropping maybe a couple of Dwarf Warriors or maybe a couple of Wood Elf Warriors to get Alfred in there, for what Alfred gives this list, I would say that would be a change I would make.
And because we don't have any melts from a battle, Alfred isn't at any risk.
Yeah.
You know.
And even, you know, you look at the High Elf Warriors, take them because you're paying the point that, you know, High Elves suffer from the fact that all of the heroes are costly. Arguably, the Stormcaller is one of the best value for points from the High Elf book, but yeah, that's the only change I would make, is I'd get Alfred in there. And unless you cut him off somewhere, but I can't.
Well, when we look at it, 40 models.
Yeah.
Me and my cutting off.
Terrible.
Let's just have another quick
I
think.
think you might need a Silver Surfer computer lesson at some point, Dave. But
it's not even a computer lesson, it's a case of
5, 6, 7, 8, 10.
I'm terrible.
17, 18, 25.
Yeah, lovely, just go over
30. No, so that is at 40, so there's no Alfred.
No Alfred. Right, now, again, no mails from a battle. Alfred should be there.
For me, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that's a bit of a weakness in there.
Well, I think that's the only weakness.
But maybe Alfred is one of those models where, yes, you definitely want to roll that 6, and you end up rolling 3 1s in a row, and Gandalf goes,
But your chances are greater than 1 in 200.
So the other thing is, Alfred has to be remembered.
Yeah.
And I have played against some people who've used Alfred, and it wasn't until turn 4 that I finally said, look, Alfred,
Yeah.
you know.
I think I'd write him I'd stamp his face on my hand or something. Something as a reminder, because again, you know, like I just said, for what he gives you, it's a bit of a no-brainer, especially if you're going from Lake Town, Gandalf. Yeah. I like the fact that this is using Lake Town to fill out and pad up with the second ranks. So yeah, strong list. Don't imagine that'll be the red herring.
And here we go, Saruman on a horse. Grima on a horse.
Yeah. So we've got Gundabad Black Shield Shaman ×2, Moria Goblin Shaman, Goblin Mercenary Captain, Shelob, and then the warband's filled with Moria Goblins and Gundabad Black Shield. So 54 models, so that's magic.
I've been loving that list.
Yeah.
I mean, Saruman, sneaky little transfix, Grima in there to upset the barrel, and Shelob in there to give the old hurl, with Goblin Mercenaries popping out of everywhere and anywhere, and 2 Shamans.
It's another strong list.
Yeah.
Okay, so we come to the last list.
I think this is easy to count. It's got how many in it?
It's got a total of 15, that's 1/5 models. 2 Fell Beasts, 1 Mummock, and Haradrim Warriors. So, would this be the red herring, do you think? I mean, I'm taking a cynical view in that that's an easy list to write. If you're going to write a 5th list that you're not going to use, it's quite, you know, we're on what? 1, 2, 3, 6 lines of text. So,
well, we're on the very, very last and final list, and we're on the list that has given me more grief than you can imagine.
Yeah.
Because in order for the Mummock to be able to go on the table, I have to rectify my plans for scenery.
So what you're saying is, if this list were the red herring,
I would be delighted.
Okay. England 2, take note. No, to be honest, I mean, you look at the other list, and this is probably the weakest of them for me.
It is
certainly the one that, I mean, because.
But there are a few other things to consider. One, how big is the Mummock space?
Yeah.
When it goes over, sees the prize. Who's getting sees the prize?
Absolutely, yeah. But I mean, that's not cause to take an entire list based on that one element.
True.
And you look at the others. Every other list has tricks, and it's well rounded, and it's pulled from different warbands. There's nothing here that screams theme.
Okay, but the Undying and the Knight of Umbar make sure that anything that can cause the Mummock grief, transfixed, compelled, taken out, nullified, Mummock hits.
I mean,
of all the lists, I think you've seen a couple of Fell Beasts.
Yeah.
Well,
we've seen a lot of Fell Beasts.
A lot of Fell Beasts, but you've also seen a couple of monsters. You've seen Gundabad Ogres, you've seen the Trolls, you've seen Dweller in the Dark, you've seen Shelobs. The Mummock could cause so much grief.
Yeah.
The Mummock gets into any of these 52 model warrior lists or any of these things like that. It could be very, very problematic.
Yeah, excellent.
Alright, we're going to wrap it up there. England 2, Ireland, World Team, France 1.
Need you ask me? Come on, boys.
Ireland! Yeah, it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
I think England 2 have a lot of potential, but France has experience.
France's lists were all of a similar vein, of very strong tournament.
Do we have 2 minutes?
We have 2 minutes.
Excellent, because one of the things we need to consider is that each of the captains need to decide who is going to play who through the rollout system. So what they do is each captain rolls a dice. The highest person puts 1 player forward.
Yeah.
Their opponent puts 2 people forward. The one person picks one of those 2 people, one of the 2 lists. They go off and they play on the table, and then continues that way. So it's 2v1, 2v1, accuracy, let's point. So it's quite possible for some of these lists to control the red herring lists, especially since the list is going to be 2 weeks prior to the event. There will be people possibly going, well, this was our 5th list, but looking at everybody else in our pool,
Absolutely, yeah.
we might go for the 5th list. We're going to say goodbye here, folks. Thanks for watching. See you in Cardiff, and we'll get some videotaping, some live streaming done, hopefully. And Middleearth-ETC 2018, Wales, Cardiff.
Good call.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Johnny.
Thanks, Dave.